Good. Hey guys, I'll be starting soon. But if you are tuning in, can you let me know how my video quality is? Because maybe I'm gonna restart it. I've been having some internet issues. So we will see. Let's see our hide this, hide this. Okay. I'm just gonna talk really quick. We're doing a flower today, but if you're watching this, one of the early people to jump into the live stream, feel free to let me know how the stream quality is and if there's any delay or anything like that. And excuse my big motions because I have my comments on my other screen, which is over here. And so yeah, just gonna keep chatting so that you can make sure that my stream quality is good before I get like into it. And yeah, so we're just gonna go with it. Hold on one second. Praying that the internet gods are with me today with funky Florida internet. And I haven't had any breakfast yet, excuse me. Oh, great. Okay. So apparently our sewer stations are not working very well, so we need to minimize water usage. That's fun. Okay. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get vibing. Okay. I'm going to have a little nut to boost my energy before I get started. Okay. Okay, and now I haven't worked this all the way out, but I've got enough, so we're going to see how this turns out. But it's really fun. I wanted to do something like easy today because yesterday was like a little bit of a long stream. And what's cool is I've already attached this demo file for you guys. So if you are a Behance subscriber, you can go ahead and download this template PSD and kind of work along with me if you want. And so I'll just kind of go into the basics of how I did this so you can do something the same. Let's make sure. Yeah. Please drop me a comment if the internet gets funky. I'm going to try to pay attention to my comments on the right-hand side of the screen, but hopefully some of you guys will catch this. So, what was I going to do? Yeah, so sometimes like when I'm needing an idea or whatever, I try to like I knew that I wanted to do something floral for this. Oh, what is this? Oh. I knew I wanted to do something floral for this demo. And so I can't remember where my reference image is, but I just tried to simplify the shapes down. And then what I'll do is I'll essentially use those shapes as clipping masks and paint some of my multicolor brush strokes within them. And then I can, use that as my base and then kind of freestyle and see how it'll turn out in the end, but that gives me a good jumping off point. Oh, Godelief, thank you so much for letting me know that, because sometimes yeah, we just don't know these days. So what's cool, yeah, so you guys can go ahead, if you're a subscriber, go ahead and download this demo PSD. And then what's fun is I would like to see what you guys make with this. And one of the fun things that has been going on with my Facebook group is that a lot of people have been sharing their artwork. And so kind of like a little, and so they've been doing their riff on like my tutorials and everything. And it's been so much fun to see what people are creating. And let me just pop over here. Okay, I don't know if I was going to see if I could share this, but I'm going to wait to hear. But yeah, this is my insiders group. Feel free. I put the link down below in my description. But it's nice to have a Facebook group, even though I'm not really on Facebook very much. But the Facebook group lets people share their work. It's not just me posting at you. You know, you guys can post your stuff, have conversations, whatever, and share your work in like a safe space. So that's a lot of fun. So I'm going to show you how I did this, and then we're going to continue and finish my design, my flower design, and we're going to just, you know, clip through this really fast and make it like really fun. So what I did was, hello, I had like a floral reference. So I just looked at some flowers and I made a super basic sketch. And if most of you guys know me, you know that I'm not a good realistic drawer. And so I like to abstract things. You know, I work within, like, I create tutorials, I create these tools to help kind of overcome my, I would say, drawing handicaps. And I think that that has resonated with a lot of people. And so, because most of the people are like me that don't have necessarily that great drawing ability. You know, whenever you follow tutorials that people are like naturally gifted drawers, then you're like, oh yeah, of course they can do anything. But whenever you guys kind of follow along with this, you're like, hey, I can do this. So that's cool. So I created this like really basic sketch. And then what I did was I just took a basic, you know, simple brush. I put the smoothing so I could kind of have like smooth, you know, smoother edges. I just took super simple and created these basic shapes. And one little tip that I did, excuse me, did is if they were overlapping or something, I would use a different color gray, just so that visually, whenever I'm trying to select them, that I can distinguish them. So I'm just gonna take this demo file here, and I put like ones on the same layer that it kind of made sense. Like not everything needs to be on its own layer. So we just did like this, and like this, I put all 5 of the petals. So we kind of want to make it as easy as possible for ourselves. And then, you know, and then what we're going to do is use these shapes as like a clipping mask, and that can give us like a great jump start. So you guys that are members or subscribers, you can go ahead and download this file. And if you're a Patreon subscriber, not a Behance, you have access to the same resources, but that is in the instant access folder. So what I'm going to do is, let me, we're going to kind of go back from the beginning. So I'm going to go window, arrange, 2 up vertical. Okay. Let's leave that here. We're going to kind of have like our little reference flower, unfinished, but I did this morning, doing the little lesson plan like real quick. And let's see here. This will be the demo template. I am going to turn off my sketch. I'm going to file. I'm going to save this as live because I don't want to go over my thing. And so basically I chose 2 different brush sets to do the tutorial today. What I chose was the Feathery Couture brushes, and then I chose the Glitch Core brushes. And both, I think I like the contrast between the softness of the Feathery Couture and then the really techie sort of vibe of the Glitch Core. And let me just make sure, I have myself streaming over on the side, so I'm refreshing that to make sure that I'm like actually still live and not talking to the air. So yeah, but you can choose like any of the brushes. So this is the Glitch Core ones that I chose. They're very funky, very glitchy. It's a really fun set to work with. And then the Feathery Coutures are absolutely artistic. I got to give them like some little props. I'm going to be using these a lot more. Very fun, very artistic. And then, but you know, you can take whatever ones you want. So maybe you want to grab some Modern Impressionist brush, or you tie-dye brush, Artistic Autumn, the floral ones, Tulle Couture, you know, just mix and match and play with them. So you can have like a lot of fun working within these shapes. And yeah, so I just kind of wanted to do that. And then the colors that I use, I'm using like the tropical colors mainly from my Glitch Core collection. So these were some color palettes that I created, just with some like really tropical vibes. And yeah, I just wanted some like very pure kind of colors. So I'm just gonna just demo a couple of like the brushes. Let me just grab a color palette here and show you kind of some of the brushes in action before I totally get started. So sometimes I like to just do a little like, sometimes I just get inspired by just drawing some brush strokes and just seeing the brushes in action, and it really like kind of, I don't know, gets my imagination going. And so yeah, like I'll grab this. But as you can see, these feathery brushes can create some absolutely gorgeous abstract effects. You can use these on all different kinds of designs. You know, they were inspired by couture, and you know, and all this stuff. But as you can see, we've got them in action over here, and it's something totally different. But they were inspired by fashion. But I love to see where they can end up, and you can make a lot of just really cool floral shapes just by doing a few brush strokes. So, you know, you can make some abstract flowers like just like that. It's super easy. So, you know, have a little fun with it. I think like just doing, you know, brush strokes going like out of a radius, you know, it can just create a lot of gorgeous things. So I love to see those brushes in action. And I think also for, I think that I can do some really gorgeous things for holiday designs. I might get into like Christmas sort of stuff soon. And let's see here. So I'm just going to do a few more brushes. We're just vibing with these brushes, and you know, sometimes it's just so relaxing. Like one of the things that I've heard from different people are they say they just love to like kind of have a non-objective approach to it. So they love to just come open up Photoshop and just start painting some brush strokes and see what happens. So, and that's funny that people have mentioned that to me, because I do that myself. You know, I'll just start painting some brush strokes and see what happens. So those are some of the feathery coutures. And as you can, like, as you guys know, if you've been following me, these Glitch Core brushes are wild. And we're going to have some of them, you know, constrained within the shapes, and then some of them like bursting out. But they are fun. I love them. These are probably one of like the coolest collections that I think that I've done. And yeah, so if you guys have any questions that I'm going, just feel free to let me know. But so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to make you paint that whole thing with me. So I already did it for you. So you can use my guides. You can download this if you're a subscriber. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those guides. I'm going to take the opacity down like really low, just enough so that I can see it. So like maybe 20%. And then I'm going to go ahead, and I know I want to put this on a green background. So I'm going to put my green background color there. And then maybe I need to put my guides up just a little bit. It's good enough because I'll know where to select. So I'm going to also share like a few little tips for making those selections and, you know, creating those clipping mask layers and everything. So I'm going to just go ahead and save my work before I start. And let's just start with this flower over here. So one of the things that I'm trying to remember to do is also use my keyboard shortcuts while I'm working. Sometimes I'm bad about this, but they can really save you a lot of time. So like I kind of noticed this when I was selecting the layer, making a new layer, and then wanting to grab my pattern stamp tool. It's like, Jessica, you know, use your keyboard shortcuts because you can do that really fast rather than having to go back and forth between all those things. So for example, I'm going to hit my V key, which is going to make sure, put me in my, what is it, the move tool or the selection tool. So say, for example, if I'm grabbing my pattern stamp, if I hit V, I'm going to go to my selection mode. So what I'm going to do is just, I have auto select layer on my canvas, so that's really important. And I'm just going to touch this and it's going to auto select the layer for me. And so now I have that layer over here on this side of the screen. And so now I'm going to Command and, you know, click on that square, which selects that layer, selects everything on that layer, or makes a selection from that layer. So Command and click on that. If you're on a PC, it's probably Control. And then now I'll make a new layer above my guides, and I'll just click the clipping mask or the mask, layer mask. And now it's going to make a layer mask of that. And that's just handy in case, so I don't have to try to reselect that. Sometimes I get lazy, or I want to just make that selection and just paint, you know, but I think it's good to have that clipping mask. So then if you lose your selection or you delete it, you don't have to go find that layer again to make that selection. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And now make sure you're over here on the layer. And now I'm going to hit my S, which is my keyboard shortcut for my pattern stamp tool. And I'm not sure 100% if that is a standard one, because I separated out my brush tool, my mixer brush tool, and my pattern stamp tool. And I actually made I'm not sure if this one is standard, but I put S being my pattern stamp tool. But it might be like, for you, it might be B brush, and then you just cycle the B between the different brush tools. But I use my regular brush, my mixer brush, and my pattern stamp so much that I need them to all have their own separate keys. So for me, pattern stamp is S, so that'll automatically select my pattern stamp tool. Hey Fatima, super glad to see you. We're just really getting into it. So I've got my pattern stamp tool, and we're using the multicolor brush technique. And I think I saved some of these brushes. So yeah, what I did was I grabbed my Feather Couture brush number 1, and I grabbed this nice color palette here with like yellow and pink and a little bit of like a kind of orange. And so now I've got my selection going, and I could just make some gorgeous brush strokes. But you can do this with any brush. So you could do it with a Modern Impressionist brush, you know, what have you, and just keep brushing and see those colors coming out of that brush. It's so pretty. And just, you know, have some fun with it and see those colors. You know, you can kind of even spice it up, grab a slightly different color, add some pink, change it, grab, you know, keep playing with it. So do all kinds of fun things. Hey Fatima. And yeah, I love when you guys send me a message and let me know that you're there. And also, you're like, if you're from my newsletter list, you could feel free to like be streaming this, and you don't have to follow along the whole time or whatever, but leave it rolling. It'll make my engagement look really good for YouTube and or for Behance too. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, so we're just playing with this, and you can make another layer. Like you could duplicate this layer and then add some, you know, more strokes of a different brush, whatever. So I did that too. I did 2 different brushes here. So I'm gonna delete I just duplicated that layer and then deleted whatever I had on that layer. So I still have the clipping mask already on that layer. And what did I grab? I think, okay, no, I grabbed, I think, okay, I don't know which brush this was. Oh yeah, I think I grabbed, what did I grab? I grabbed hold on, one of the Glitch Core brushes. And let me just see if I can find it. It was one that had kind of I think it was 89, which kind of had a little like spirally effect. So, but just grab any brush, you know, honestly, don't worry about it too much. So let me just grab like 89. And then I want a contrasting color. So on this one, I made some pink, dark pink in the center. So maybe I want to get a lighter color because, you know, you want a little bit of contrast. So yeah, I just kind of made some strokes, and then, you know, you can kind of have that radius sort of thing. So it's fun. It's abstract. Fatima, I guess everybody's just watching. They're busy watching, but yeah. I'm glad to see you on the chat. Super keeping the chat alive there. Loving it. So there we go. So let's just say that like that one is done. But you could keep adding more brush strokes within that clipping mask. But then later on, I'm going to add maybe some behind, and then maybe I'll accent it with some brushwork brushes. So we're just, having fun with it. And the cool thing is, like, when you have that Jumpstart PSD, you can just use this as an inspiration and then see, maybe you have use different brushes, use a totally different color scheme, and yours can look totally different. And one thing that I like about using those, like that clipping mask, is sometimes you've got like a little transparency with these brush strokes because most of them are pressure sensitive. So it looks really kind of nice and more delicate to have like a little transparency coming through those leaves. Thank you so much, Fatima. Loving it. Keeping me pumped for this. So anyway, so now I'm just going to go straight to the other flower. And so I'm going to just select this. And now I've selected that layer. I'm going to hit Command and click on that layer. And so now I've got that selection, and let's just go up above, make a new layer, click on that clipping mask, and now we can paint over it. So of course, now I'm not even doing it myself. I was going over here to select my pattern stamp tool, but I need to hit the S, or maybe, like I said, maybe it's a different key shortcut for you. And so that way I don't have to, I waste less time by using my keyboard shortcuts. And yeah, we can definitely be friends. Bless. Okay, so now I'm going to grab like a purple color palette, and let me see what we got going on here. Like a purple and pink. Okay, so I'll grab this color palette here. And what did I grab? Oh yeah, okay. So I think it really doesn't matter what you grab. I grabbed Feather Couture brush number 14. And as you can see, it has like these gorgeous sort of feathery, soft shapes in there. We've got beautiful, beautiful blending with all the colors. That's gorge. So I'm just going to leave that. And what else did I add? Oh, I can work on the same layer if I want. So maybe then I'll grab the pattern stamp or the feather. Looks like I grabbed number 8, which actually I need to stop. Like sometimes I'm trying to recreate that exactly, but the fun part is, what was I going to say? That I don't need to, I can riff it up every time and just grab a different color, or a different brush. So I'll just take a pink one and add some highlights there. So we've got that nice soft look with that, on the tip there. And it looks like I used, so what I'll do now is I want to add on this, what do you call those, petals? I want to add like a glitch core brush. So I'm just going to Option and drag my layer. So that's going to duplicate it. I'm going to cut that. Let's go grab a glitch core brush. Here's brush 60. So I don't have to grab the same one that I grabbed before. Maybe I had grabbed, no, that's a different one. Let's just see. And if I want, I can always go back to my my brush chart. But maybe I'll grab brush 72. Looks interesting. They're all so crazy. Sometimes I don't really know what it's going to look like. I just grab a brush and do a paint and then see how it goes. So let me grab, I want like kind of a pink. No, I want something more orangey. So we're just adding layers. I kind of want it to be down at the bottom. So I'll just keep playing until I have something that I kind of like. That's okay. It's not the same one that I used over here, but I'm not going to stress about it. So you can just grab whatever brush you want and kind of just play with it within that area. Oh, thank you so much, Nadia. yeah, I have a lot of fun with it. And, you know, anybody can do this. These are really simple shapes. You don't have to have some, you know, any kind of special talent or whatever. So that's the fun part. Okay, so now we're going to add those, the flower petals that are in the front. So let's take our, make sure we have our select that layer, that guide layer, and then I'm going to command click on it. No. Yeah, command click on it, make the selection. And now I'll make a new layer above my last layer, click that clipping mask. And now we are just gonna grab a feathery brush. I'm not gonna worry about trying to grab the same one that I grabbed before. Let's mix it up a bit. So I'm gonna grab a color palette here from my glitch core. This one looks kind of interesting. I want something kind of, I want these ones to be a little darker and then these ones a little lighter. I think that's interesting. So let's grab a feathery brush. So we're gonna just grab one of those gorge feathery brushes, and I'll just use the same brush, but I'm gonna change the color palettes a little bit. So maybe I wanna like, you know, take a darker color. Some of these blends are quite subtle, and just keep playing over it until I'm happy. That's good enough, what have you. And yeah, and then we'll add some more things later. Yeah, so Nadia, these ones are available in my website as well, but I will tell you right now that the Glitch Core brush full collection, Glitch Core, is still attached for my Behance subscribers. So you can subscribe on Behance for 10 bucks and you can get all the releases that that I release while you're a subscriber, plus my whole back catalog of tutorials and a discount on my website. So I definitely recommend that. I'm not trying to be too salesy here, but yeah, they are available on my site as well. And yeah, so I'm happy with that. And now I think what I'll do is I will go ahead and add something in between those two layers to add a little bit of dimensionality. And so what I added on this one over here was a glitch core brush stroke, as you can see there. But you can also play around and add, like this was Feather Couture 10, so you know you can just make it your own. So I will love to see if some of you guys download that demo file and then see what you do with it. So it kind of gives you like a base, and then you guys can, you know, riff on it and make your own sort of vibe from it. So I'm going to grab my pattern stamp tool, and I think this one I grabbed the pattern or the Glitch Core Brush 50 because I saved it over here in my tool presets. I sometimes when I'm working, I save those for my tutorials so that I can access them faster and I don't have to like take so much time of looking for my brushes for you guys. But this is brush number 50 and I grabbed like a cool color blend here, right here. And this one is great, I think, for those center bits of the flower. And it's got this interesting directional control, but if you, it has more control at the first. So if you know, you go like this, you've got that gorgeous fan shape. I think that's really interesting. And so I just added a little sort of a thing like that. That's quite cool. But, you know, feel free to do your own thing. So this adds a little bit of dimensionality into our design. And even, you know, you can add something behind it. So maybe I want to take like a feather brush and add some, let's maybe make a darker stroke. Let's get something different. And of course, these are no flowers known in nature, you know. But that's what I love. Like, I love doing really crazy stuff. Like, so this is a feathery brush, and I could just add some more little strokes there and just build on that depth, you know, if I wanted to. Or just leave it like that, a little simple. So, you know, see what you like better. Even I could take go behind like the last, you know, the back petals. I could make a new layer, and then this one I don't want to use that clipping mask. Maybe I want to add some, you know, some subtle sort of things like that. I don't know, you know, some little strokes, some little kind of filaments, something a little bit fun, you know, we'll see. So that is that. And then what did I do? I also added, we're going to go ahead and finish this. So whenever I saw this, I'm like, let me do something a little behind it. So I made a new layer behind it. And let me see which, I think I saved it. Oh yeah, here it is. So this was the, you can see this brush, it's quite funky. This is a Glitchcore brush number 24 with like a purple color palette selected. And you can just do some really fun things. This is a wild brush, but I like that it had that kind of radial vibe. So if I just go like this and keep tapping, I can kind of get that sort of fun radial vibe. So I put that behind those, and then, you know, maybe I want to block out the main shapes first, and then maybe I'll add some more artistic things going on. So let us continue on. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do the leaves. So let's take my V, get my move tool, select that layer. Let's start with a leaf. I'm going to command click. I'm going to put this behind my flowers. So I'm going to make a new layer. Click my clipping mask, and then now I'm going to grab my pattern stamp tool. I'm not going to worry about making this. I'm just going to select random brushes. We're going to be crazy. And I'm going to get, I think I got one of these blue greens. Hello. Oh, I'm not selected on my layer here. So this is a feather brush 18. Let's see here. There's feather brush 19, feather brush 21. We can go really crazy. I kind of like this 15. That's wild. These are so much fun. Actually, I like just doing something different. And then maybe I will, and if I'm not worried about it too much, I'll just do a bunch of things on the same layer. Like you don't have to make a new layer for every single brush stroke. So maybe I'll get like a green blue, darker one, and kind of see how this, maybe put some a little bit darker. And then maybe I will duplicate that layer. And now I want to do a glitch core on top. So I'm going to grab this green and this dual green color palette. And let's just grab any glitch core and see what happens. I want one that's not totally filled in because I want to see both, I want to see the glitches, and then I want to see also the soft. I like that contrast. This one's okay, 82. I like that. So we've kind of got that feather there, and we've got that glitch core. So that's the whole vibe. So that's good enough. We're going to go with it. And now what I might do is, now let's, so yeah, I'm going to work on my next leaf. We're just going to try to block out those shapes really fast. So I'm going to hit my V, grab my selection, and I'm going to go right here. I can barely see that, but I know where to click. So I'm just clicking on that layer. Command click. Let's go our clipping mask. Let us make a new layer, or make a new layer. Click our clipping mask. And now I'm going to take that last brush that I did, the glitch core, and make that my main brush for this one. And then I'll go over the top of that with a feather. So I will leave that. So we've got that glitchiness that we like. And I think I'll leave that glitchy, I don't know, kind of like that there. And then maybe put some feather over the top of that there. So I'm going to Option drag, duplicate my layer cut. And now I want that kind of blue-green again. So I'm going to grab that blue-green color palette. And then I will, let's look for a feathery layer. Oh, I'm not drawing on the wrong area, right area. So now I can put some feather there. I kind of like that. That's interesting. Maybe I'll take the size down. That's quite cool with those. If you keep doing the brush stroke, then I can see the different directions and everything. But yeah, it's cool. We're not going to worry about it being perfect. Gonna hit save. We want to work non-destructively. And let's see here. Yeah, so we're looking good already. We're feeling it. I'm loving it. Let's knock this stuff out so fast. I want to go ahead and grab my stems. So I'm going to select them. I select my stems. So I got my stem layer. Command click, grab those, make a new layer. And for this one, I think I don't know what I grabbed just kind of a soft green here. I don't want it to be too drama. And let's just grab any feather brush. Okay, let's draw it in there. We might, oops, I forgot to add my clipping mask to that layer. Oh, there we go. And maybe we'll add some glitch core over it, but let's map out these shapes real fast. So we got that. Let's take this leaf, click on it. Let's make a new layer. And let us get kind of I'll take this green here. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to holler. Let's just see what the feather brushes look like. This one's quite interesting. I like when they have a little bit more contrast, and I can see those differences in colors. This one's quite soft. I like that soft 22. This is interesting, 26. It's different. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Use that 26. And I'm going to go ahead and save this over my Tool Presets palette. I'll click OK, because maybe I'll come back to that brush. And that's one of my tricks that I do sometimes. Because if I create a new brush here, I have to like scroll down. If I create a new brush here, it's going to save it right in the middle of my collection, and it's going to like really jack up my my brush catalog and everything. So for tutorials and stuff, I'll save them in my Tool Presets palette for quick reference, and then I can export those tool presets and then re-import them as a regular ABR brush set if I want. But this is really nice to have this separate for like really fast reference or whatever. Hey Zara, super happy to see you. So that's a little tip that you might do. So if you know that sometimes I'll work on something and I won't save what brush I use. But if I saved it in my Tool Presets in my panel, then it's like, especially if I'm doing a tutorial or something, it just makes it so much easier for me. So that's super good. So we're going to deselect that. And now, oh, you know what? I didn't make my clipping mask again. I was getting really crazy. So let's duplicate that layer. And now let's add a glitchiness to it. So we're going to add a glitchiness in kind of of the blue-green, like right there. Let's do that. So let's fly through and add a glitch. That's cool. This is 76. I like that glitch. I think that's cool. I think I'll put it in in the higher part of the brush. So just a touch of glitch. Hey, thanks so much, SM. All right, so I got just a touch of glitch, and now let's go on to the other leaf. And now I'm going to do like the reverse. So I'm going to fill it with the glitch and then accent it with a feather. So I select my layer. I'm going to select the layer, command. I'm going to make a new layer down below, add that clipping mask, and now let's take that same brush that I just did. Make sure you're on the layer, not the clipping mask. So let's put some glitch. We're cool. And now let's duplicate that layer, cut. I'm going to save my glitch brush. And then here's that feather 26. So let's add some of that brush stroke right there. So they kind of like match. So that's kind of fun. And cool, cool, cool. We are flying through this. I think it's going to be fun. Now I want to do the buds. So I'm going to command click on the bud. Click on the bud. Make a selection. Make a new layer. I want something bright. Here's a pinky craziness. Okay. Here's brush 75 of the glitch core. That's fun. I'm digging it. I like to just go through and see what the glitch core brushes will do. That's fun. This is 68. That is 65. That's quite interesting. I like doing side to side. It gets that sort of a rounded effect. So, you know, you can just, that's the fun part, is just experimenting like that. That's interesting. 64. Okay, we'll leave that there. It's cool. So 64, glitch core, deselect. Ah, I did not, let's hear, select, reselect. I keep forgetting to put my clipping mask. And so now I'm going to duplicate that layer and maybe I'll add a glitchiness. Oh wait, I already added glitch, so now I'll add a feather. So I'll take feather 1, maybe I'll just go back to that. Yeah, that's fun. And just kind of have a little bit there. So there's the bud there. And now I kind of want the buds to like look, or you know what, I'll make these buds kind of purple over here. So I'm going to select that, make our selection of the bud, new layer, click, let's get a purple, and let's start with a featheriness. Oh, hey, nice to see you. Oh my gosh, oh yeah, oh yeah is your YouTube thing, but I don't know your, I don't know your name. You have to tell me. Okay, so we've got some dimensionality. That's a soft, soft transition, and I'm fine with that. So I'm gonna, make my clipping mask. I get ahead of myself. Let's duplicate that layer, deselect, and now let's add a little glitch to this. Oh my gosh, I was gonna say let's add a little glitch to this. A naughty word, but I don't want to curse here. So anyway. And let's see here. So I'm just, I've got that clipping mask layer. I've got a different color palette. I want like a contrasting color palette. And now I'm just going to go through my glitch core brushes and make some marks and see what happens. You know, I don't have to always pick out my brushes first. That's quite interesting. And although on some of these I want the glitch core brushes, I want to pick a brush that adds, like, lets a little bit of the that's not totally filled in, basically. That's interesting. That's brush 82. We're cool. We're gonna go with that. Okay, fine. And let's hit save. And now we're just gonna do like the little kind of petal-y things that are underneath the flowers. So let's start with this one. Select, let's hear command, wait, no, select, command click on the layer. Why is it not working? Let's hear deselect. Okay, I've got that. Command click, okay, there we go. I think sometimes there's like, my Wacom tablet gets like caught on a selection. All right, let's make a new layer, clipping mask, and we're gonna fly through these. Pattern stamp tool, we're gonna get a basic, let's hear, maybe the blue-green. And I'm gonna go feather for mainly for these. I maybe wanna make these a little bit, I want kind of a basic darker green. I kind of want them to like not stand out. So what I might do is I usually keep my modern impressionist color blends handy in my palette loaded up, because they're kind of good ones that I've created that have like very gentle color blends, so you get that multicolor effect, but the color is not too wild, not too many different colors. So I can do that. And what I could also do is like, I want them to be a little bit darker. So maybe I'm going to duplicate that layer. I don't have a dark green really selected right now. I could turn this layer at multiply and kind of, yeah, like do it a little bit darker. I want a little like shadow there. That's kind of nice. I really want those to like stand, I want them to be less, I don't know, like especially the ones that are behind the flower. I don't want it to stand out too much, basically. And now, you know what, I realize that this layer of the stems is not at the back. So I'm going to drag that behind everything because I want it to be behind everything. And like, we'll go okay. And let's go back to this layer here. And now maybe I'll make a new layer above it. And maybe I'm going to just, can take like a green. Maybe I just want to like put some dots of like feather, something kind of soft. Well, I'll leave it for now. We're just gonna, let's not worry too much about those. So now I want to do the little bitty leaves above the buds. So I'm going to click on that layer, make that selection, and these can pretty be at the top. So I'll just put them up top, create our clipping mask, and let's not draw on the clipping mask layer. We want to draw on the actual layer. Let me add the layer mask. Okay, let's, because sometimes when you make the clipping mask, it's still on that clipping mask layer, but I want to make sure it's on that selection there. So brush effect download. This one, yeah. Okay. So there we go. We've got, I think I want like a darker green. There we go. Maybe I'll go back to my glitch core, see what I got. So I'm just kind of, I'm not going to worry too much about what brush I use. This is kind of a small area. That looks pretty good. So now let's do the same thing on the other buds. And then after we kind of get the main shapes mapped out, then we'll like add some accents and stuff. So this is just giving us like really like a head start. So I'm going to grab this, make the selection. Let's pop it up at the top, layer mask. And yeah, let me just draw those out. And maybe I'll pick a lighter color, a lighter green. Use the same brush. I'm not going to worry too much about what brush it is. But now we're kind of seeing those a little bit. That's cool. And then the last leaf before we start doing our accents, let's select that option. And now this one, where is that leaf? We're going to put it behind its, yeah, I'll put it here. Find where that flower is. And I'll put it, the new layer there, clip that mask. And let's just use that same last brush. There we go. So it's pretty basic. I'll grab like a darker green because I want a little kind of shadow there. That's fine. Okay, good enough. So we've got the basics here. And now we can do accents. So we've kind of got the meat and potatoes. Now we can have some fun, add your own bit of creativity. You can add stuff in the background, you know, and when you create something like this, then you could like turn it into a pattern element. You could, you know, create a duplicating pattern. I kind of like the idea of putting like a little bit darker there. And then maybe you could, so let's just play around, do some accents and see what we feel like. Maybe I will take my pattern stamp tool and let me see, find a feathery brush that's quite, there's some of these that are quite watercolory. Brush 6 is gorge. If you see that texture in there, I love it. Yeah, so many. I can make a new layer. You know, I could add some soft sort of effects here. Okay, maybe not like exactly this. Oh, you know what? I just did a cool watercolor. For my members, there's like a watercolor brush that I just released in one of the previous live streams. It's a gorgeous watercolor brush. I'm going to put it in colors just so you could see it a little bit. This is like, it's got the gorgeous transparency and the color blending. And then if you hold down, it's more dramatic, but then if you use light, then it's less dramatic. But maybe I'll do this watercolor brush with like this dark green color palette and add some, I like that. It adds some really subtle, gorgeous sort of accents to the background. That's cool. I'm feeling it. We're building it up however we want. And what else could I do? Oh, something that might be interesting. I don't really know how it's going to turn out, but maybe I could take my one color brush and grab some like my Brushwork brushes, which have a nice, if you use them light, they've got like a really nice texture in them. Why is that not showing? Oh, change the brush tool. Hang on one second. So the Brushwork brushes got those like really, oh, I have to take the smoothing down. Sometimes if I have the smoothing up, it's like the brush lags a lot. So we could add some little artistic accents to this with that Brushwork brush. Maybe just add a little bit of, I don't know, extraness. Let's try that. So I'm gonna kind of zoom in here. I'm gonna go, this is a one color brush, which you'll hardly ever see me using. I'm gonna hit Option to kind of select one of that light green, and then maybe draw like some, that's kind of nice. I kind of like that. It adds like can add some really lovely effects, but I want it a little bit lighter. Let me add some yellow. So we can kind of go over some of those. I'm like, my drawing hand is not that smooth, but hopefully some of you guys can relate. So we can add some little creative accents like that. I think that's cool, but I need to find that layer so it's like in the appropriate spot. So let me hit my V key. Let's select that layer. There we are. There we are. So now I'm gonna add that accent maybe on top of this one. And like I'm doing all these, but I didn't know how exactly it will turn out. But I think that that's quite cool. And it's kind of nice to break up some of those harsh edges a little bit. I like to feel it sometimes, but maybe maybe I want to like break that up a little bit. So if you ever need to change color, you can, and grab a color from your thing, you can option, you know, while you have the brush, option, and then click on it to grab a different color. But yeah, maybe we'll grab some blue. And I'm just doing like really light kind of accents. Maybe I'll take my brush size down. But it's kind of fun. Kind of like how it's going. So I wasn't exactly sure how this would turn out, but I think that adds like a nice little bit of like creative. I'm trying to get that a little bit lighter, but whatever. It adds a nice little bit of creative touch to it. I don't know. I'm curious to think, like, see what you guys, if you guys like it with the accents or without. Maybe I didn't need so many of them. I don't know. But yeah, like, feel free to give your opinion. Let's see here. Maybe I'm gonna add like, oh, that's not above that. I'm gonna go above that other leaf. I think it needs to be smaller. But yeah, you can see my actual drawing ability at full on full display here. Yeah, I don't know if I like those. Whatever, that's a little bit. That's nice. I do think I want to put some over those stems. So what I'm going to do is grab a green from the background and maybe just add a little texture there, like a little bit over those stems. I think that's like makes it a little bit more interesting. Yeah, just a little bit of texture kind of is nice. Yeah. So just adding some texture, maybe adding like a little shading underneath those flowers there. And these brushes are pressure sensitive, so can kind of be okay. Let's see here. Maybe I will also put them, let me make a new layer on top of everything. Maybe I'm going to add some of those like brush strokes on top of that flower. So just kind of building up those layers, but having that single kind of brush stroke can kind of be interesting. I think I need to adjust my pressure sensitivity settings on my tablet. Kind of like, yeah, I kind of like that. It's just adding a little bit more visual interest. And I think also what I want this to be like darker here. So I'm going to find my layer with the stem, and I'm going to make a new layer above it, create a clipping mask, and then maybe what I'll do is I'll take a dark green, I will take a gradient tool, and maybe I want to change my gradient to radial. The default gradient that I keep on hand all the time is like foreground to transparent. So maybe I want to like go like this and kind of hide some of those things, that kind of intersection there. I think that's a bit nice. And now I'm just going to kind of go over the top, and maybe let's grab another brush. Let's see here. Let me grab like a green. This is kind of nice. This is Brushwork Dry 16. And let me grab I kind of like, that's got it's a nice fat brush, and it's got a nice grain in it, a paper kind of grain. So I think that that's adding a little bit more, adding some nice touch. And maybe I'll use that around the thing, so I can grab, select this bud layer. Maybe I want to add a stroke there. So it's just adding some extra texture, extra depth. Let's take a pink and maybe add some stroke above here. That's quite pretty. So I kind of love that, actually. And I'm not going to worry about this being perfect. That's why I love doing my tutorials, is I like to like give you guys some ideas, but I really don't I really don't like finishing things so much. I just love like getting the idea, and then and then just, yeah, like sometimes I don't even like, I've done enough. It's like I don't even want to finish this, but it's good to do. And it, oh, like, okay, not like I'm anything like Leonardo, but it kind of made me like remember, because I've seen so many documentaries about Leonardo, and he was always like, once he kind of figured out in his mind, like worked it out in his mind, then he didn't really want to do it anymore, because he's already done the hard part, or he's already done the, the main bit, which is, kind of the problem solving. And so I I can totally relate to that, even if I'm not like anything like his talent. But now we're just, adding those little bit of depth, and adding some artistic effects. It's not perfect, but whatever. I don't know if I'm loving those accents or not. You guys have to like let me know, but I'm just going with it, since I kind of like having that fuzzy sort of effect. Kind of going over some of those edges like that. Like they're kind of glowing a little bit, like there. Just adding some visual interest. And we're just, yeah, not worrying if it's perfect. I think I might add some watercolor in the background too. There's my stems. Kind of want to know where this is. I kind of want, that's looking like a little bit bright. So maybe I'll make a new layer above this, and I'm going to stick with that one color brush and kind of put some, yeah, kind of like hide some of the like bright I'm not really worrying about what layer I'm on right now since this is like accent. Kind of hide some of that light green on that stem because I don't want it to stand out so much. And what else? I could do so many different things even. Gosh, there's sometimes I have a hard time of knowing where to stop. Even here kind of wants some, oh, you know what? Here wants something. This is, I'm going to, I think I'm going to put, yeah, take this brush and kind of put some little things there. And then maybe I want to put like some little circles, like little dots for kind of a center. So I can make a new layer. Pattern stamp tool. Let's do like some pinky sort of things. Oh, this is an interesting brush, this Feather Couture 55. If I make those small enough, I think those could be some interesting little center things down there. Very technical term, center things for the flower. So we can make some little... This is kind of becoming a very melange of different things. I just want to keep adding things. Like, oh my gosh, even I'm tempted to do like, add some crazy gold play brushes or something, like adding some gold. You could add some like gold accents. This is with my gold play brushes. I don't even know. Sometimes I have to be like, sometimes I have to stop myself. It's freaking, the struggle is real. Like I will add some, I want to add gold to everything. Oh my gosh, I'm going to add that gold. F it. These are like if you haven't seen these are my gold play brushes, which is like playing with the Photoshop mixer brush and the different settings. And basically it's like, I actually like that. Am I crazy? I don't know. I'm curious. This is the photo. You can check out my project called Gold Play, and I've got different live streams where I played with this, but this is my, it's basically using the mixer brush as like a stamp. So you're selecting gold and then you're, you know, I have most of the time the setting to dry, and you can create some interesting sort of dimensional kind of gold effects. I kind of love that. I'm like, I'm accenting this in gold. Que sera, sera. I've got my smoothing up, my brush smoothing up, but then sometimes it doesn't lay like, the higher your smoothing is, sometimes it's a bit annoying. Could, I don't know, I'm kind of feeling them. Gotta leave. I already missed the gold. I know, it's like, I'm kind of feeling it. Why am I always like that? Why do I gotta put gold on everything? Honestly. Sometimes people are probably like, can you not put gold? Like, I just have to accept that that's my signature and like not fight it. And even I could add a little drop shadow to these. But you know what? I like it. So I'm feeling it. I'm feeling myself here. I'm like, I like that you guys all, yeah, sometimes when I'm doing these live streams, like I had kind of had an idea what I was going to do, but sometimes I don't know how it's going to turn out. That's why I do like to prepare a little bit, because sometimes when I'm doing some experiments, it turns out great. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's crap. But that's really, I'm digging it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling myself. Well, maybe I'll add a little bit of like a drop shadow here. So I keep drop shadows up in my styles panel, just like a little touch of drop shadow. And even I can adjust it, like the distance, maybe I'll put on 2, multiply. I like the angle. Maybe I'll have the distance on 1. Just adds a touch of dimensionality. Let's hit save. Gosh, I even like that. I even like it on the stems. That's fun. Okay, I gotta add not too many because I will go over the top. I need to restrain myself a little bit. I don't know if I want to add all those. I don't know if I want to add it to everything. I gotta calm myself down a wee bit because I can be crazy. Maybe that's enough. Sometimes you gotta just say, stop, Jessica. I think that adds a little bit of definition that I like. I'm feeling it. God, I seriously want to add more, but I think we're gonna stop there. I don't want to look at like, oh, and I totally forgot to turn off my guides layer. Although, oh yeah, it was hidden anyway below this one. Let's see here. Maybe I'll play around with a little bit of, I do have some really nice monocolor, these are like my only monocolor brushes, but with the Brushwork collection, I've got some really gorge sort of watercolors, and they've got a nice sort of, they've got some nice texture, they're pressure sensitive. Let me just kind of look and see how some of these I like. Which one did I just do? This one is quite nice. 10. I have to zoom in a little bit to see like exactly. Yeah, 10's pretty good. Hit my left bracket so I can just kind of add a little bit of soft watercolor. I don't know if I need that. Maybe that's overdoing it. I tend to overdo sometimes. Even I could add some color. Oh, hey, Linda. Glad to see you. Yeah, I'm pretty done, but anyway, I'm happy whenever anyone ever like says hey anyway. So maybe I'm gonna turn those off. I can add like some watercolor behind it. That's pretty. This is Brushwork Brush Wet 10. Kind of like that. It's kind of glowing. I don't know if it's, I'm like reselecting kind of. It's kind of pretty. Gosh, I just keep going, I swear. Sometimes it's like, where do you stop, Jessica? Where do you stop? I need a purpley over here, I think. Should I stop there? What else can I add? Oh, Maria, thank you so much for giving me a comment. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, is anyone watching? I don't know. Part of me wants to add some, I want to add more. What is wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Why do I want to always add more? Yeah, it's crazy. I have a problem. I want to kind of add like some sparkles, or what do I got? Where's my, sometimes when I have the, oh, there's my collections. Like I could see adding some like kind of splatter brushes. Where is my bloody? I've got some. No, maybe that's too much. I have to stop somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. I could just, I love like keep embellishing. I love embellishment. Okay, we're gonna like, although, oh, my Galaxy brush has these like stars. Oh wait, where? Like a starry brush that I love to use all the time. I'll show you it really quick. It's like Galaxy 3, and it adds these like pretty stars that I love using. I think it's pretty. Like, I could add these to everything. That's kind of pretty. I'm curious. What do you think of? Is it too much? Is it too much? Is it too much? Is it too much? I need to know. I need to know if it's too much. Somebody's gonna have to be tasked with stopping me. But adds these like little like starry accents. I don't know. I'm curious for some yes or no on the starries. Is that too much? I don't know. Somebody tell me, please, please. Okay, what are we thinking? God, I could just keep adding and adding to this. It's insane. Okay, so I'm gonna bounce for now, and I'll also have my this demo file for you guys. The one that I made on the live, the finished one, and then you've got the starter PSD. Okay, Maria, it's got a fairy tale effect. Okay, I'm leaving the stars. I'm like, I need another opinion. That's what sometimes I need an opinion. Oh, what's wrong with me? But yeah, so my Behance subscribers will have the demo PSD and then the also starter PSD, but I will love to see what you guys like. Use this as your guide if you want. And hopefully I'll have like some people share in the Facebook group like the different versions of this, because you could go like so many different versions. So it's almost like kind of like a color, like almost like a coloring guide for like Photoshop or for like illustrations. And maybe I'll do more of these, but then you can make your own take on it and, you know, use, maybe you have a totally different color palette or a totally different brushes, or you have them like, you know, it's just totally different. So I will like love to see that. And thanks for everybody who joined me on my live. 11:30, 12. Oh my God, I made this one over an hour too. I'm trying to do some short ones, but this didn't end up being finally too short. It's crazy. So thanks again for tuning in, everybody. And I will be here tomorrow. I will have this posted on my Facebook page. And then I'll put it in the comments after this processes, because I do not remember what time I'm on tomorrow, Friday. I can't tell you. And I don't want to open up my email, because sometimes it's not good to open your email like on a live, because people could like, I don't know, catch your password or something. So anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll be online tomorrow. And follow me on Behance. Sorry, follow me on Behance. And you can get a little notification for my lives, and it's very unobtrusive. You have like a little red dot here at the top of your screen. So make sure you're following me. Thanks again. Bye.